Today is N7 day, ladies and gentlemen. And with N7 day, normally we get some Mass Effect news, or we get some Mass Effect, whatever, because it's N7 day. Guys, there is a video game called The Expanse Osiris Reborn that a lot of people are touting as the Mass Effect killer, or at the very least, the competition to Mass Effect. And to be honest with you, pretty much anything can compete with Mass Effect at this point, considering the franchise has been dead for a while. But this takes next level balls, okay? This is next level balls. So the Expanse Osiris Reborn decided that they were going to release the main theme of their video game for everybody to see for the first time on N7 day. which is wow. That is literal big dick, big balls move. And honestly, shit's pretty hype. It's pretty hype. They said, today we present you the main theme of The Expanse Osiris Reborn, composed by Powell Pellica. Become a captain of your own life, gather a team of loyal companions to explore the solar system and challenge a powerful enemy together. So let's listen to this. Let's just get a little bit of a tidbit of this theme that they got going on. Does it match the epic music of the original Mass Effect? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it in the middle? I don't know. Let's see. Does it give you the vibes? Not bad. That part did it. Once they started bringing out like the chanting and shit, that part did it for sure. Listen, guys, I've been saying for a while, man, with me, I have been waiting. I don't know how long, to be honest with you. I fucking love sci-fi. Okay. I don't know how, like, I don't know how many times I have to say it, because, you have the haters out there, the unofficial moderators are like, do you talk positively about anything? Oh my God, you're so negative. Oh my God, you're so negative. So, I'll just repeat it again for those, people out there that don't pay attention and pretend like they do. I love sci-fi, right? Like sci-fi is one of my favorite genres for pretty much anything, right? It could be sci-fi manga. One of my favorite mangas by far is Romina from Junji Ito, right? Where Romina is basically like a fucking killer planet. You know what I mean? Very interesting sci-fi story. It's a horror story, but still, it's sci-fi horror. And in terms of video games, obviously, I mean, there's so many sci-fi games in history, but Mass Effect truly holds a very special place in my heart. When I tell you one of my most hyped video games of all time in my life that I can remember was Mass Effect 3. I remember stalking that fucking game, okay? I remember stalking every little fucking detail about that game. I remember literally reading every little snippet of every paragraph of whatever Game Informer magazine that I could possibly get anything about Mass Effect on. Like I literally stalked everything about that fucking game. Which is why when we got to the fucking ending for that game, I lost my shit. But that's a whole nother story. I stalked everything about that game. That game was literally amazing. I'm sorry, the franchise was literally amazing. So, I've been looking for a sci-fi epic story like that can, span multiple video games again and kind of do that whole thing again. And we really haven't had that too often. We've had little snippets here and there, but it's hard to recreate what it was like to play those original Mass Effect games and to just be there and wonder, like, what the fuck is going to happen to Shepard, right? How is he going to defeat the Reapers? The Reapers was such an existential threat. They were like such an impossible foe. How the fuck is he going to take them down? You know what I mean? It was just unbelievable. So I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this game is capable of. Anytime somebody tries to hype up something as an XYZ killer, I immediately dismiss it because I don't view anything as an XYZ killer, right? You know how many MMORPGs came out? They're like, we're going to be the WoW killer. Yeah, they all died. Like pretty much almost every single one of them died. Fucking Tabula Rasa died. All those games that were supposed to be WoW killers, they killed themselves. Okay. But that doesn't mean that I ignore the game. I just dismiss the whole like, oh, it's an XYZ killer thing. Not to mention Mass Effect has been pretty dead for I don't even know like how long. So especially after Andromeda. So I'm very curious because we're going to talk about Mass Effect too, We're going to talk about Mass Effect. Actually, let me X this out since we're on the conversation about N7. Let's go over to the Mass Effect information that we have about this whole thing really quick. Where is it at? So let's talk Mass Effect. Let's see. Why is this not loading? Now this thing is not loading. What the fuck is going on here? Come on. Why are you so gay? Oh my god. All right, here, let's do this. Will this work? Nope, it's not loading. Why is this not loading? You got to be shitting me. Mass Effect N7 day. There is apparently a TV show, by the way, that is in the works. Okay. And they made a comment about it. They made a comment about it today, where apparently, I mean, just look at this article from Polygon. Look at this article from Polygon. Oh, good. Amazon. That's already a red flag. Amazon's Mass Effect TV series will take place after the events of the original trilogy games. Commander Shepard will remain the player's story. Now, I don't mind that because Commander Shepard is the player. I don't mind that. But there was one article that I wanted to bring up that was specifically talking about romances. Like, where is it at? I have it pulled up here somewhere. Here we go. Is this it? No, this is not it. Fuck. What is with my tabs? Yeah, they were basically talking about how the game is gonna the TV show is gonna have a lot of romance. And I'm like, really? I understand romancing was a part of the original Mass Effect trilogy. I totally get that. But are we seriously going to make the focal point or one of the focal points about the Mass Effect show romances? Like, tell me you're feminizing the show. Like, that's really what it is. Tell me you are feminizing the show, because Amazon has a track record where every once in a while they'll come out with a good TV show, but then every once in a while they'll come out with a horrible fucking TV show. And I just have a feeling that this is going to be one of those horrible TV shows. I feel like this is going to be a feminized version of Mass Effect, and it's going to be a space fucking opera romance kind of nonsense. I really feel like that's going to be a thing. I also wonder how are they going to follow the original trilogy? Right? Are they going to be shortly after the original trilogy? Are they going to be hundreds of years, kind of like Andromeda? Like, how are they going to do that? You know, um, Star Wars is a space opera, yeah, but again, to the extent of what they're trying to do with it, look at what Star Wars is at now. You got masculine space opera, and then you got Disney space opera. You tell me which one you want as a Star Wars fan. Um, but also talking about the video game. Let's go to the video game now. So you got Mass Effect 5. It's been reported, by the way, that Mass Effect 5 remains in development amid a $55 billion EA buyout, which we already knew was pretty much a thing, right? And BioWare is now apparently heads down and focused exclusively on the RPG with lots of romances to figure out. This is for the Mass Effect 5 video game, okay? First off, are they even calling it Mass Effect 5? Because Andromeda, I understand that was, technically, but it wasn't actually a numbered game. So are they actually calling it Mass Effect 5? Probably not. I think that the journalists are probably assuming that, most likely. But when I see them putting their heads into this and they're like, yeah, we're going to be focusing on lots and lots of fucking. I got to be honest with you guys. First off, what a fucking picture. What a picture, bro.
Holy shit.
Fantastic. What I will say is that, and I've been very consistent with this. I can't give two fucks about romance in video games. Okay. I understand a lot of people love it. That's great. I hope you get what you're looking for. But the problem is that there are developers out there right now, and just the gaming industry in general, that sexuality is their entire personality. It's all they are, right? So unfortunately, these people who they become so compulsive, like so obsessed with the idea of it, that it ends up becoming the entire thing. It ends up becoming the focal point. That's kind of what happened with Baldur's Gate a little bit too. Baldur's Gate, they were like, yeah, you could do lots and lots of fucking. You could fuck a bear if you want to. You could fuck a hot chick. You could fuck a gay dude. You could fuck a gay bear. Whatever, right? It's like, it's literally all they fucking focus about. And I'm like, dude, sometimes you could get away with that, sure. Like Baldur's Gate 3 got away with that because the game is astronomically like large. The amount of options you have is ridiculous. You could get lost in a game like that. Whatever. I totally get that. But the problem is, I don't believe that modern day BioWare has the ability to separate the two. I don't believe that modern day BioWare, if they tell me, hey, we're going to be focused on romance, lots and lots and lots of romance. And I'm like, the problem is that's gonna be your focal point. If that's what you're gonna make the majority of the game, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about that. Why don't you focus on the epic story and then throw the romances as extra? Because that's what the first three games did. The first three games, they focused on the story of just it was basically, it was a space opera. It was a massive story, existential threats, multiple different races, multiple different planets, multiple, like all kinds of shit. Betrayal, the fucking the Reapers, everything. And then they sprinkled in some romance for people to want to get a little bit closer to their characters, especially since they built an entire, resource game mechanic around, how many characters you had, how close you were to your squad, all that stuff. Like they kind of built it into the, into the game. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like modern day BioWare just, and I understand, I get it. They are two different teams, right? You have the BioWare team that did Veilguard. They're pretty much dead, right? And then you have the Mass Effect team, and apparently they never got along. Apparently, the Dragon Age team and the Mass Effect team never got along because the Dragon Age team always thought that EA preferred the Mass Effect team. Supposedly, that's like what the inside discussion. That's what what's his name, Mike Dara, the person who used to work at Dragon Age. That's what he said. He said that EA always preferred the Mass Effect team. So I gotta imagine it's probably because Mass Effect made more money, was more famous. But you know, hey, it is what it is. So when I look at this stuff, I just worry. Now, is there any people from Veilguard that are working on this game? I believe there is. I don't think it's many, but I believe there is. I think there's some writers that were transferred over to this team. Most of them got fired, but there are some that were transferred. So time is going to tell. But what I will say is this, man. You have a lot of competition now. Mass Effect, when it came out, there was nothing like it, or almost nothing like it. It was so far ahead of its time. From a storytelling perspective, the fact that you could transfer saves and have a consistent story between every single version of the game. I mean, it was light years ahead of what was around it. Now, not so much. We've experienced so many video games that could do exactly what Mass Effect did, if not better, and Mass Effect has competition. You have video games that are being worked on right now, like the one that we saw just in the beginning of this segment. You really got to come out the gate swinging. And I'm not talking about come out the gate swinging with your dick, talking about how many characters you could fuck. I'm talking about come out this gate swinging with a really amazing space epic story. Otherwise, you're cooked. That's basically it. You're cooked. There are indie games that are doing things better than you guys, right? So stop focusing on having your dick and making helicopter motions with it. Let's get back to the basics and perhaps come out with something that everybody's looking forward to. You have Exodus that is coming out that I know a lot of people are looking forward to. And then you have the Osiris game. So you have 2 space epic video games coming out, and you're also working on your game too. So you are no longer, the special kid on the block. You might be a little retarded and special in that way, but you're not the special kid anymore. So you really got to stand out. You got to stand out amongst the crowd. And not only that, this is BioWare's last chance. You guys know that, right? If BioWare does not succeed with Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever it's called, if BioWare does not succeed, they're fucked. Especially since they're getting bought out by EA. But not by EA, I'm sorry, by the Saudis. They are absolutely fucked. If they do not deliver on Mass Effect 4, 5, whatever, to the maximum, sayonara, that's it. This is it. This is their last chance. So it's been a wrap since Andromeda. Yeah, I mean, listen, you got Anthem. We won't even talk about Anthem. You know what's sad? I was so looking forward to Anthem. I feel like Anthem had some of the most amazing looking gameplay in the trailer, only to find out it was absolute trash. The flight mechanics were pretty cool, but for the most part, it was absolute trash. That game was a travesty. The fact that BioWare let that game die, the fact that BioWare let what happened to that game happen, that should have been the number one sign that this studio is not the studio that made the original games for Mass Effect and whatnot. But, it is what it is. And then on top of that, yeah, it had a lot of potential, 100%. And then on top of that, Andromeda, we won't even fucking talk about My Face is Tired Andromeda. We won't even talk about it. What a fucking letdown. What a letdown, man. So in any case, we'll see what ends up happening with this. But Mass Effect as a whole needs to come out swinging and needs to come out swinging hard. Forget the whole conversation about fucking romances and shit. I'm not saying the game can't have it. I'm just saying don't make that be your focus. Because there's a certain team that used to work at BioWare that made romance and gender identity and sexuality the entire focal point of their fucking game, and they are no longer around. And that's called the Edmonton studio from BioWare. That's called the Dragon Age Veilguard studio. So pretty sad. They're not the same people. Fun fact, there's actually a good amount of senior people that worked on the original 3 games that are working on Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever it's called. There are a good amount of senior people. Hopefully those senior people can lead the retards in the proper direction. Again, otherwise, they're cooked. They're cooked. Now, obviously, they don't have the talent of the original full team. I understand that. But hopefully, hopefully they could do something. Hopefully they could do something, right? We'll see how that goes. All right, let's X out of this.